Welcome to the Online Success Journey podcast, your opportunity to discover and learn from entrepreneurs like yourself. This is not your typical podcast, but a place where you can get the real story and find out how real people encounter speed bumps and detours, but journey through to find success. Now here's your host for the Online Success Journey podcast, Patience.
Hello everyone and welcome to Online Success Journey. This is episode 1. Are you ready to join the clan? Today we have Chris Farrell here. Hello Chris.
Hey, Patience. It's great to be here. Thank you for the invitation and hi to the clan. Thank you for having me here.
Okay, thank you for coming. Chris Farrell is one of the most respected and successful internet marketer in the industry today. In 2008, he started online business with no experience and he started generating income within 6 months. And in 2010, he made over 1 million in sales in just 24 hours. Chris, he has provided training and mentoring to over 23,000 people, and if you can just do a simple Google search, you'll find his name and thousands of testimonials about him. He has a knack for simplifying the complicated, and that's why he's been voted number 1 on online training from 2011 up to date 2012, 15. Wow.
Whatever the year is.
Yes. Hello, Chris.
Patience, what a super introduction. I almost thought, gosh, who is she talking about? So thank you for the introduction. It's very, very nice, as I say, to be joining you today.
Okay. I know the clan here is anxious to hear your story, so let's get started with the basics. Can you tell my clan a little bit about your background, what you did before you started online business?
Of course. Well, long story short, as you mentioned, I started online in 2008, which in internet years is like it's like dog years. It's like forever. Everything's changed since 2008 online. Things are a lot easier these days. But to answer your question, before I started online, I lived in the UK. You're in London, aren't you, Patience?
I am.
I believe. Yeah, I lived in. Which part of London are you in?
I'm in Surrey.
In Surrey, okay, very posh. That's the pot. You're obviously a lot posher than I was. I was in the kind of the East End, the rough part of town, where muggers would protect one another because it was that rough. But so I was in London and I used to work on the radio. So totally different job. I used to work on a radio station called Heart that some of your clan members might know. It's a very big London radio station and I used to present the mid-morning show. So it was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it, but totally different to online marketing. Well, I say totally different. It's interesting. Since going online, I have found there are quite a few similarities, and essentially every successful business really relies on the ability for the business owner to be able to communicate effectively, and I think succinctly. And so there are actually some parallels. But to answer your question, I worked on the radio for 20 years and then moved to America and then started an online business. So that's what I did before I was on the web.
Wow, that's a great background, Chris. Tell us one thing that we wouldn't know about you even if we have been following you for a while.
You wouldn't know. I'm really a woman. No, only joking. Well, only at weekends. No, that's a great question. One thing you wouldn't know about me is that, well, apart from the radio, I'll tell you something quite interesting. While I worked on the radio, I had a separate business and we used to put on lots of 70s discos in London. And in fact, ended up traveling to Europe as well. So it was a bit like, imagine Austin Powers hosting like a party night, a fun kind of night out. I used to put on those nights, and I was like the main character. In fact, I didn't want to be the main character. I wanted to be behind the scenes, but I auditioned lots of people, and nobody could kind of take on the role as I imagined it. So I ended up doing it myself. So I used to put on lots of events in London as well as working on the radio. Luckily, just before the internet, so there's no YouTube videos of me. The character was called Dr. Glitz, so it was quite a fun sort of kind of random 1970s Austin Powers kind of character, and I dress up in sequins and huge like mirror ball earrings. It was ridiculous, but a lot of fun.
Wow. How did you go from where you started to getting involved in online business?
So I guess like a lot of people, I had that organic kind of fundamental feeling in my stomach that I knew that incomes could be made online because so many people were doing it, or at least saying they were doing it. But I just knew that the web, obviously the web's here to stay. Obviously, you can use the web to create a business. So I kind of knew that. I had no idea how to do it, but I knew it could be done. So that's where the first, and I suspect like a lot of the clan listening now are probably thinking, do you know what? There's something about having a residual online income that is appealing. And you can run it in tandem with your current job. So like you're being a nurse patient, you can still have a sideline of a web business. That's exactly how I decided to start. I came to America, as I mentioned, in 2006. So I didn't start till 2008 online. I had some other jobs over here, but I was looking at the online business. So to answer your question, how did I get to where I am now? So I moved to America, and in the very beginning of 2008, I decided to really take this business seriously and look at the web. And I started in February, and I just learnt. I just wasn't scared to learn things, because that's what anything it comes down to. It's spending a bit of time investing in yourself to learn some new skills. Unfortunately, we live in a world these days where a lot of people want results, without putting in any work. A lot of people have a sense of entitlement. Well, life doesn't work like that. We have to put in the work first. And that's why a lot of people quit. They're like, oh, this is too much hard work. Like they spent 3 hours trying to work on something, 3 hours, and then they'll quit. So that's what I did. I spent in February 2008, I started to learn how to create websites. I started to build a list of people that are interested in subject matters. I started to write emails to those people, engaging with them, some of the emails promoting other products. And it was that process that started to make me a regular online income. So that's kind of how I went from the offline world to the online world, if you like.
Okay. Did you have any setbacks or failures while setting up your online business?
Setbacks and failures, gosh, yes, totally. I mean, the old saying goes, you learn more from your failures than your successes. And that's absolutely true. I think a wise soul, when anything goes wrong, a wise soul can take a beat and think, okay, I'm not going to stress about this. This is obviously not going as I wanted it to go, but there is a lot of benefit that I can glean from this situation. And once we start thinking like that, gosh, the whole world changes. As Jim Rohn said, for things to change, we must change. When we view how we look at things, things do change. So I had loads of setbacks and failures. I remember learning new skills and just not understanding it, just not finding anybody that could explain things to me simply. But one thing I was good at is I was not prepared to let that beat me. I didn't want to be that guy that said, you know what, I quit. I didn't want to be a quitter. I didn't want to be that guy. I don't think that's a cool quality in somebody. It's easy to quit. It's easy to say it doesn't work. It's easy to start a book and not finish it. It's easy to start going to the gym and, 2 weeks later stop. And because most people do that, we kind of find comfort in the fact that lots of other people have quit as well. And, we sort of end up, your social circle is sort of a similar sort of ilk. Well, we want to ask ourselves at the end of our life, do we want to be that person? Is that the sort of person we want to be to our kids, to our grandkids? And it wasn't for me, so I didn't want to quit. And as I said earlier, I knew that businesses existed online. And did I honestly think that everybody that's making an income online is a genius? Absolutely not. And I know tons of people that are making money online, and they're certainly not geniuses. And I'm certainly not as well. So to answer your question, yes, I did have lots of setbacks and failures. But I use those as springboards to think, okay, it's like Thomas Edison, when he created the light bulb, the famous saying, every time he failed 1,000 times. He didn't say he'd failed. He said, I've just found another way not to create the light bulb. So it's all about how we sort of, our internal dialogue. But yes, I did have lots of setbacks and failures, to answer your question.
Okay. Regarding that setback, how did you feel? How did you describe what was going on in your life, in your business, to your closest friends and family?
Anytime I had a setback, and I remember once sitting outside on my deck here, my patio here in America, in Los Angeles. I live in LA now, and I remember sitting outside with a coffee, and I clearly remember thinking, I just can't actually understand this. I was trying to learn how to make videos online, and I just couldn't get it. Everybody that's explained it like it was really simple to do. But of course, nothing is simple if you haven't done it before, despite what somebody might say. And I think there's definitely a skill into being able to teach something simply and effectively without the person that you're teaching feeling as if they're stupid, which is how I was beginning to feel about myself. But one thing I did get great comfort from was something Brian Tracy once said. Brian Tracy once said 4 words that really affected me. He said that all skills are learnable. All skills are learnable. It doesn't matter what the skill is. If we were on this call right now, patients, talking about becoming a piano player or becoming a cook or becoming a basketball player, everybody knows, obviously, that to become, a piano player or a cook or a basketball player, we'd have to practice. We know that. Nobody would expect to sit down at the piano and be able to play a concerto by Beethoven, obviously. Yet, why do most people think that to have a successful web business, they can be doing it within next to no time? It's interesting. Most people think because they have a computer, they can do it. It's a skill. It's a skill. Making money online is a skill, just like learning the piano, just like learning to play basketball, just like learning to cook. It's a skill. It takes time. But as I just said, Brian Tracy once said, all skills are learnable. And that's what gave me great comfort, realizing, okay, let's look at this logically. Making money online is a skill, but all skills are learnable. So I just need to learn. So that was kind of the comfort I took, realizing, okay, I haven't got it yet, but I know I can. It's like, everything changes. It even says it in the Bible, if anyone in the clan is, biblical. I love that saying, this too shall pass. It's true. The challenges we're having right now, whether they're personal, professional, business, will be different in a year. The challenge you're having in your online business where you can't work out how to make a video, you'll have a different challenge in 12 months' time. There will always be challenges. Always. That's what life is. It's how we deal with them. So I took great comfort from the fact that all skills are learnable. And then I thought, okay, I don't get it now, but I know I might be able to get it in a day, a week, or a month because I know that all skills are learnable. So that's how I felt.
Okay. I know my clan would love to hear how you overcome this, and we are going to talk much more about this in our extended interview. But tell us, did you make it through?
Yes. Short answer. Doing exactly as I just mentioned, just realizing that all skills are learnable, and wasn't prepared to quit, and just thought, you know what, even if everybody marches to their own beat. There's no race. If it takes me 6 months, which it did, to make money online, you hear some people saying they did it within 3 days. Frankly, I don't believe that at all. That's just people trying to sell the dream. But yes, I did make it through, and and continue to. And it's still tough at times. This is like any business. This is a business first and foremost. And to set up a business takes balls. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes an investment, often financially, to learn some new skills, and certainly time-wise takes an investment. A lot of people aren't prepared to do that. So, and those that are, though, will do well.
Okay. So what is your focus or specialty online?
I guess my focus is explaining things simply, explaining things that are seemingly complex in an easy to understand manner. I think it was Einstein that once said, only when you know something simply enough can you explain it clearly. And I take great pride in the fact that I will only teach stuff that I know myself, that I'm doing myself. There's a lot of jokers out there that will happily take your money and teach you something that they don't really, A, implement themselves, or B, really understand. But because they know a little bit more than, the people that they're teaching, it appears as if they're so-called expert. So I will only teach stuff that I implement in my business, that I've learnt, that I've struggled with, so I understand the challenges that I've now overcome. And to answer your question, I guess my speciality, if that is such a word, is explaining seemingly complex things simply.
Okay. My clan is a group of hungry entrepreneurs looking to move their business forward. How can
Hooray!
how can your expertise help my clan? What
Come
do you
on,
do
clan.
for people?
Oh, clan. We hang out at coffee shops all day long. That's all we do. What do I do? Well, I guess it's similar to the first question. Here's the thing with any business. You need really okay, let me back up a little bit. The reason anybody creates a business, really, let's be perfectly honest about it, and there's nothing wrong with this, is to make money. There's nothing wrong with that at all, of course. Now, The money, of course, might be for, a bigger objective. Might just be for yourself, which is fine. Might be to look after your family. You might have bigger plans. You might have other things you want to do. But we need to make the money, don't we? That's where it all starts. So that's our objective. But that's really, well, I say that's where it starts. That's the end results. We can't start at the end. The end result is you have an online business that's going to make you money. Boom. That's the goal. That's the end result. So how do we get there? And that's kind of where I kind of come in. I explain, okay, you're here. Maybe at the beginning, you want to go here at the end where you're generating a regular income online. How do we get there? Here's how we get there. Here's the roadmap. And that's really what I teach, the roadmap of having a successful business. It's like getting in a car to drive somewhere. If you get in a car to drive, if you get in your car in Surrey and you want to drive to Southend-on-Sea, patients, and you've never done it before, I doubt you're just going to get in the car and just go. Although you might do because you're super talented. But most
you
people...
need a map.
You need a map or a GPS or an app or something, so you kind of know where you're going. It's exactly the same with any business. You just need to have a little bit of a roadmap. And again, it's interesting. I see it every single day. Most people thinking they don't really need a map. That I've got a laptop. I know how to work this out myself. Well, good luck because you won't, because it's like, as I mentioned earlier, it's a skill that needs to be learned. And that's where the frustration kicks in for most people. The reason most people are frustrated is that because they don't have anybody that's really showing them what to do. And there isn't really a roadmap. They don't really know what to do next. They know that they want to make money, sure, but everybody wants to make money. That's not going. That's building a business on hope. That's not going to work. You need a strategic plan. You need to know that you've got 4 things to do or 3 things to do. You need to be doing this, then this, then this, then this. You need to have a nice website. You need to be building a list of people that are interested in whatever your website is about. You need to have nice emails that are going out to those people that then sign up. Not everyone is selling. Some are just engaging, allowing that person on your list to get to know your personality. You then need to have a few products, whether they're your own or other people's, that you will promote. And there's all these little things. They're not huge, but they are all components of having your roadmap. So that's kind of what my expertise does. We sort of explain that roadmap, what to do and in what order.
Okay. Do you have something today that can help with our online success journey? Something to make the road a bit smoother for us?
Haha, the smooth road.
Mm-hmm.
I have lots of products. I mean, I certainly don't want to appear as if I'm selling anything, but I do have probably the cheapest thing and the easiest entry point is I have a membership site called Chris Farrell Membership, which would probably be a very good place to start because essentially it breaks down really what we're sort of talking about here, these steps, this roadmap, what to do, how to achieve it, if you don't know what what your subject matter is, what your website's going to be about. Your website has to be about something. Your web business has to be about something. You might already have a passion or an interest or a knowledge or some expertise in an area that you'd like to monetize online. Great, but you might not. But you still might be interested in making money online. So we go through all those steps of, what do we do and in what order. And that's at Chris Farrell Membership. If anybody was interested, and be a pleasure to see you inside the members area.
Okay. Clan, Chris is going to hang out and share more information about his journey with us. If you can relate to where Chris started his travels so far, or if you can just want to learn more about Chris, you can listen to the extended version of his journey and even more tips to help you with your own journey. Go to onlinesuccessjourney.com and you'll get more tips from there. So check out Chris' product at chrisfarrell.com, right, Chris?
Yeah, that's fine. chrisfarrell.com, 2Rs2Ls.com. That will certainly get you to see me.
Okay. Well, we have more information and links to the offer on onlinesuccessjourney.com. And if you are not part of the clan, you should be. Chris is offering. Are you offering a discount for us, for our members clan?
No, don't think so. It's only $4 anyway, so I don't think we can go any cheaper. So it's $4.95 for the first 7 days to start.
All right. Don't worry. You learn more from Chris and check it on onlinesuccessjourney.com and all our future podcasts. That's a wrap, clan. Remember, success is a journey. See you in part 2. Patience and Chris Farrell.
This is not the end of the journey. We hope you've enjoyed listening to part 1 and want to be sure you know there is a second part to this and every journey podcast at onlinesuccessjourney.com, filled with even more success tips, uplifting stories, and even a bit of fun. There are dozens of episodes only available to the members of the Online Success Journey clan. Check out the website and click on Join the Clan for more information. Patience would like to thank you for listening to this podcast, and she has a free audio gift for you at her website. Go to onlinesuccessjourney.com for instant access to this gift. Of course, you know that listening to the journeys of others helps each of us chart our own path. So make sure you're subscribed to be notified as each new interview is posted. There are so many ways to stay connected to the Online Success Journey and to listen in. And if you're enjoying the podcast, we appreciate your help in telling others. One of the best ways to share the benefit you get is to rate and review it at Stitcher and other sites by clicking the stars or completing the ratings form, by clicking thumbs up and leaving a comment on YouTube, or liking and sharing the podcast on social media. To review the podcast within iTunes, simply open iTunes to the podcast, click on Ratings and Reviews, then write a review. On behalf of Patience, and until next time, thanks once more for listening. It is our hope that this podcast will guide you on your own online success journey.